Good morning, dear children. As you all know that in the previous class we discussed about transitive and intransitive verb, and in today's lesson we will learn about the various forms of verb. Children, this is very important lesson as it will be the foundation for tenses, which are the main pillars for learning English properly. So I request children, please be attentive, watch and listen very carefully and try to understand, okay? Alright, let's get started. So far we all know that verb is the main part of a sentence, right? It is mainly divided into two parts, main verb and auxiliary verb. It is also called helping verb. Here we will use the term helping verb instead of auxiliary verb, okay? So what are main verbs? Main verbs are the words that actually shows the action or activity of subject. They can stand alone without the help of any other verbs. For example, read, sleep, eat, run. All these verbs can exist independently and provide complete meaning to the sentence. Okay, let me give you some sentence examples. Sun shines. Here, what is the activity of the sun? Shining. So, shines is the main verb here. It stands alone and we understand the meaning also here. Next, bus stops. Here, what action the bus performs? It stops. So, stops is the main verb here. Next, car runs. Here, what is the activity or action performed by the car? It is running. So, the main verb here is runs. Okay, so these are main verbs. Now, let's look into auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. So, what are auxiliary verb or helping verb? Helping verbs give more meaning to the main verb. They cannot stand alone, which means they require main verb for their existence. For example, is, has, do, did. These are referred to as main helping verbs. And verbs like will, shall, may, can, could, might, must, these are called modal auxiliary verbs. Alright, now let me give you some sentence examples to make you clear about them. Let's take the helping verb may. Now look at this sentence. Bus may. Can you understand what this sentence is saying about bus? Bus may what? Now look at the complete sentence here. Bus may stop. Here it is telling that bus may stop. That is, we are not sure whether it will stop or not, but it is giving complete meaning to the sentence. So, may is the helping verb here and stop is the main verb. Now let's look into the second example. We will take the verb, helping verb will. Sita will. Does this statement convey any meaning about the subject Sita? No, it doesn't. Now look at the complete sentence here. Sita will come. Here we have used come, which is the main verb, with will as a helping verb. Now let's look into the last example. Must. They must. Here the verb must is of no meaning to the sentence if it is not followed by any main verb. Now look at this sentence. They must eat. Now we have a meaningful sentence conveying that they must eat. Here must is the helping verb and eat is the main verb. Now that you are clear about the main verbs and helping verbs, let's look into the qualities that verb has. Verb has two unique qualities. that no other parts of speech has. I repeat, verb has two unique qualities that no other parts of speech has. The very first quality that verbs have is they change depending on the subject. And the second quality is they change depending on the time of speech. Let's look into the first quality verbs have. So the first quality is verb change depending on subject. Now, what do you mean by this? Okay, let me give you an example to make you understand. I am tall. Here, the subject is I, which is the first person. Okay, if you don't know what is first person, second person and third person, let me tell you that suppose two people are talking. Let's say you and I. When I am talking to you, I am the first person, and the listener, one who is listening to the conversation, is the second person, and the person about whom we are talking is the third person. Okay, so here I is the subject, which is the first person, and tall is an adjective and am is a verb. Now look at the second example where the subject is second person. You are tall. You is the subject and is the second person. While referring to the second person, we used are as a verb, but the adjective tall remains the same. Did you notice? Now look at the third example where the subject is third person. See, she is tall. Here, while referring to the third person, we used is as a verb. Here also the adjective, that is tall, remains the same. So from this example, you can see am becomes are and are becomes is, while going from first person to second person to third person. So we can conclude that verbs change according to subject, and no other parts of speech has this quality. Second very important quality that verb has is it change depending on time of speech. Now what does it mean? It means whether we are talking about the past event, present event or future event. Let me give you an example to make the concept clear. Mary comes here regularly. Here, comes is the verb, and we are talking about the present event. That means the action of her coming is still continuous. Now see the past event. Mary came here yesterday. Here, came is the verb, and we are talking about the past event, that she came yesterday. Now let's look at the future event. Mary will come tomorrow. Here, will and come are the verbs, and we are talking of the future event. As you can see, for different time the same verb change. Comes in the present became came in the past and will come in the future. These are the different forms of verb. We'll discuss about them now. Alright, verbs are mainly divided into three forms: base form, past form and past participle form. Let's take an example of verb sing. The base form of sing is sing itself. The past form of sing is sang, S-A-N-G, and the past participle form of sing is sung, S-U-N-G. Apart from these three main forms, there are other two forms, S or ES form. It is used when the subject is third person and in singular form. Third person singular means he, she or it. Base form plus S or ES forms this kind of form. Example, sing becomes sings, S-I-N-G-S. Here note the word S in the end. And the next form is ing form. It is used when the work is continuing while we are talking about it. Base form plus ing gives this form. For example, sing becomes singing. Here you see ing is added with the base form sing. So with sing, ing is added and it becomes singing, which means it is still continuing. Check all the 5 forms of some verbs here in the table. Pause the video and read all the forms of the verbs given here. Please resume the video only when you read all these forms. Okay? Now let's look into one sentence example to make this concept clear. Please look into the table. Base form of the verb cook is cook. An example of it is I cook food regularly. Past form of cook is cooked. Ed is added here, okay? And the example is I cooked food yesterday. This is a past event. Past participle of cook is again cooked. Sometimes past and past participle form remains the same. An example of it is I have cooked food. S or es form. S or es form of cook is cooks. We add s. And the example of it is he cooks food. And the last one, ing form of cook is cooking. And the example is I am cooking food. Okay, I hope it's clear now. We'll learn more about it when we learn about tenses. Okay, that's all in this lesson. Please watch the video again and again if you don't understand it, and if you have any problem, please feel free to ask me. Okay, all right children, thank you for watching.